you're going to have a ton of talent on your team. And the nature of this event going, you know, conga line style, you go, I go, and then it's more of a collective effort of individual athletes throwing down versus the teamwork element where we get like synchros and worm thrusters and things like that.
Chandler Smith will be out first for the boys. There's quite a few people here at the stands, or in the stands at Flagler Park. One of these many venues that they have here at Wodapalooza. Just an incredible setup that they have here, and a great crowd for a Thursday. Can't wait to see what this place is going to look like on the weekend. There's Angelo DeChico. Rich Froning rocking the Rory McKernan beard, as is Luke Parker. Angelo DeChico instead going with that 1920s boxer look.
Yeah, looking like he lifts large triangular weights.
Looking like he's going to engage in some fisticuffsmanship.
As a fellow mustachioed man myself, I got to respect the game for sure.
100 double unders, then 30 GHDs. And there goes
nice little mount
Travis
there.
Williams, yeah.
Travis Williams from Texas, looking like he knows how to jump start up onto a horse.
He is on Team Hercules. Hercules.
Hercules?
Hercules. Roy Gamboa is the man now on the double unders for his team. Logan Collins is the third member of that squad. Travis Mayer is on the double unders for the boys, and Noah Olson is being Noah Olson.
I'm excited to see Chandler get off the GHDs here. You look at his pacing right now on the 30 GHDs. He is just flying. I mean, being the lead athlete, the first one to go, there's no recovery element here. You just go full plaid, Sean.
Chandler's done. 620 on that flip sled. Invictus also on to the flip sled. And Sam Dancer in lane 7 on the Smith brothers team. Sam Dancer and Street Horner stepping in for Ben and Dane Smith, who were supposed to be competing with their brother Alec.
You know, Sam Dancer, you know he's a solid friend when, you know, on a whim, gets the call, hey man, can you come throw down in the elite division at Wodapalooza? No problem, just laces him up and steps out there. Props to Sam and for Street Horner both for stepping in.
Well, the team in lane 1, that is your leaders, they're wearing Invictus clothing, but they are officially named Cobra Kai. As you take a look at Sam Dancer. So Andrew Hiller. That is lane 3, that's Invictus, pardon me. Lane 1 is Cobra Kai, so we are looking at the Invictus team. It's hard to tell sometimes from the perspective, but that is lane 3.
That's Joshua Alchama.
Joshua Alchama, pardon me. Joshua Alchama on the flip sled, leading off here. And Angelo DeChico is now being joined by Luke Parker, so Mayhem in Paradise have 2 men on the sled, and now Ryan Souter for Invictus joins Alchama. Travis Mayer has also joined Chandler Smith. So still more than a minute to go, a minute 15 before we hit that 5-minute cap for this opening round. Rich Froning is on the GHDs and only has 5 to go, so he's going to be able to join Parker and DeChico on the flip sled. 56 reps on the flip sled. That is the top score. 2 teams have done it, DSM, and then the other 2.5 men team did that in heats 2 and 3 respectively. Now Froning is going to join Parker and DeChico.
Luke Parker put in some impressive work on the flip sled. We were talking with Rory McKernan. Obviously, you know, he helps manage and works with a lot of these Mayhem athletes, and he said, you know, Luke Parker has the ability to just rip some of these heavy odd object implements.
They're working at a great pace. Mayhem in Paradise has just left the Invictus team in their wake, and Invictus has all 3 of their athletes, Ryan Souter, Joshua Alchama, and Eric Carmody.
You know, it's usually a good sign, Sean, if you can get out in front of everyone else and then you still have Rich Froning to come in and close.
It's just not fair. The Noah Olsen for the boys is resting. And that'll do it for the first round. So Mayhem in Paradise. Rich Froning, Angelo DeChico, and Luke Parker in the lead, heading into round number 2.
And it looks like Mayhem got a full 2 lengths there. It's possible, it's definitely possible, that they might be able to finish in 2 rounds. And
that is the lead that they have on everybody else.
Oh. It's pretty demoralizing.
But what could give some teams some hope here is that we have seen things change in round 2. That seems to be the key round. But that is a tough lead that they have established for teams to.
I'm going to ask you this, Sean. Do they look like they're tired?
No.
That's worrisome for the rest of the field.
Luke Parker is going to be out first as we again take a look at the keys to this event.
I mentioned lead with strength. You want to put the athlete that can really fly in front that first round. We saw that with Angelo DeChico and the work he was able to put in. And then once we start to get into the meat of this workout, no misses on the double unders with that first athlete being the gatekeeper. You know, every miss is just more time you're holding up the athletes behind you, not letting them get onto the field to play. So, you know, fighting to stay unbroken, rip off these big chunks, let the rest of their teammates come out to play.
Luke Parker for Mayhem in Paradise, working through his 100 double unders. And Tommy, you mentioned finishing inside of 2 rounds. We haven't even seen a team finish. In order to finish, you have to go basically 2 laps, down and back, and then get across the finish line.
And you know, credit not just to Mayhem and Paradise, but the other teams as well. You know, there is a significant gap between the two. The other teams right now, where they were able to get in that first round, puts them well ahead of the pace to be able to beat the previous times as well.
James Newberry in lane 8 for Thunder from Down Under was putting on an aggressive pace on those GHDs. Luke Parker wearing a whoop strap, heart rate up to 184 beats per minute. He is moving. Rich Stroney behind him, and it's Angelo DeChico who will be the last man out. But you get Parker and Froning on that thing at the same time.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at Luke Parker. He was at about 180 plus, and then he got to the GHDs. You saw him rip through the first 5. Then he started to slow down his pace, get his cadence. You can see his heart rate starting to drop, getting a little bit more control as he finds his rhythm here for this section. That's what happens when you go to Mayhem. GHDs become recovery and not work.
It's James Newberry who's going to be the first man off for Thunder from Down Under. Econ Porter and Matt DeLugos.
Keep your eyes peeled on Newberry and Con Porter. My sources have it that they are the recipients of 2 brand new tattoos that they got just a couple of days ago when they got here in Miami. They got 2 modeled after their favorite early 2000s comedy flick, Dude, Where's My Car? They got Dude and Sweet tattoos.
On the thigh, I believe, correct?
Yes. Oh, yeah. So they'll be on full display once we do the swim event.
It looks like on the right upper thigh of James Newberry, there might be something there. You kind of see it. Luke Parker continuing to work for Mayhem. And here comes Rich Froning to join Luke Parker. And they've already completed 3 lengths of the floor here.
Just absurd.
Getting set to complete 3 lengths, I should say. They still have a ways to go, but now Rich Froning and Luke Parker have to make quick work of this. And it is them and it is everybody else in this 4th and final heat. 56 total repetitions is the score to beat. That should not be a problem for Rich Froning, Angelo DeChico, and Luke Parker, as Angelo DeChico is on his GHDs. 30 reps he needs to complete before he can join Froning and Parker on that 620-pound flip sled.
I'll give a little shout out to the Mayhem team. They're sporting some Cookeville Fire t-shirts.
And look how far ahead they are right now.
Oh.
They go right to work on the final length of the floor, and they still have a minute left to go in this round.
Sam Stewart from the other 2.5 men.
So the difference between the two teams is one is spelled TWO, the other is the number 2.
It's science.
Parker and Froning. As Travis Mayer and Noah Olson are going down the other way. They have 35 seconds to go, and now Angelo DeChico is onto the flip sled. They have to get to that white line on the bottom right of your screen that where the fitness community life writing is on the floor. That's what they got to get past. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to accomplish it, but they will definitely get it in round 3. And DeChico gets one in before the 1 minute break, and they still don't look tired.
You know, I'm going to be honest. Rich Froning is going to be the one leading here. If I'm Angelo and I'm Luke, I very casually walk back to the start mat.
There's no reason to hurry.
Just give him a quick pat on the back. You got this, bud, right? It's like they've got about 3 or 4 flips.
Rich getting clarification from his judge right now on where exactly he needs to get with that thing. DeChico asking the same question.
It's nice to see Angelo on the competition floor. You know, we got to see him at the MAC, finish just a few spots shy of qualifying after a lengthy break away from competing. You know, he was a multi-year teenage champion. You know, went for a career in fire, so it's nice to see them sporting the Cookeville Firefighters T-shirts in support of Angelo.
And 3, 2, 1, go.
Final round underway. Is Rich Froning, who's out there, along with Alex Smith in the backwards hat, Con Porter, Sam Stewart. Mayhem has already passed the leaders from the prior heats, DSM and the other 2.5 men team. They're through 57 repetitions. Look at Rich Froning's heart rate right now, 145.
At the same time, the previous round, Luke Parker's heart rate was about 40 beats, 35 to 40 beats per minute higher. Impressive, impressive management so far.
5 to go now for Froning. I don't believe he had a single break there now. Angelo DeChico, why not? Going to do a little work. Froning onto the GHDs.
And it looks like, you know, obviously, without jinxing them, Mayhem has got this event wrapped up. And the big question becomes now, who's going to fill in behind them? You know, some very talented teams, obviously loaded with games athletes. You see Noah Olson to the left of Rich Froning. He was actually just slightly ahead of Rich getting to the GHD, and he's holding even as far as pacing is concerned with Rich. You see Logan Collins all the way to the left. I mean, there's just, you know, 24 games appearances between these athletes right now sitting on the GHDs.
Froning is final few reps. Noah Olson, meanwhile, he and the boys have moved into second place behind Froning and Mayhem, and Froning is all by himself making the walk to the flip sled. And there goes Noah Olson.
Gives him a little attaboy on the way by.
Logan Collins is also done as well. And Froning looks like he's going to get over the line with this last flip. And he makes it. And Mayhem in Paradise is all done. And they will win the event in dominant fashion. I think they have to hit the buzzer to make this thing official. I don't know if they did, but it's very clear that they won. So DeChico's going to hit it.
You know, it's funny that Rich would forget to do that because the first time we saw the buzzer debut was at the Asia CrossFit Championships, and it was Mayhem that was the first team to hit the buzzer.
With the Chico precedent 14:44, doesn't really matter because they're going to win the event and pick up 100 points in the process. Now we'll see who finishes in second as Chandler Smith and Noah Olson are looking to get themselves across the finish line here. And they are solidly in second place. But Travis Mayer is still working on his buy-in work. Mayer with one double under remaining, and now on to the 30 GHDs.
If I'm Travis, I'm just hanging tight here, waiting to see the guys get across the finish line. It looks like maybe 1-2 more flips.
So Olson and Smith, looks like they're going to be able to get it done. And the sled is across. And the boys will cross the finish line, and they will take second place in the event. And Rich reminding them to hit the buzzer. And he said, thank you. Not that, again, it doesn't matter because no one else is finished, so these are your top two teams. And now to the Thunder from Down Under. Matt DeLugos, Con Porter, and James Newberry will finish in third.
Strong effort from DeLugos, filling in for Jay Crouch, who's originally a part of the Thunder from Down Under, but last minute they needed someone to fill in. Unfortunately, Jay could not be here.
Not a bad sub, getting Matt DeLugos. 3 teams in this final heat finish all the work. Mayhem Paradise, the boys, and Thunder from Down Under, as event 1 is now history.
Another team competition, another performance from Mayhem that puts them in the lead.